They have 3 cards in hand, and they're doing nothing. I wonder if they're holding, like, some Path to Exiles or something. Actually, I have no clue what they could be holding. Very strange. Hello, and welcome, guys. We are here for round 2 with the list you see on screen. We are playing some Lot Left Troll and some Persists and Unmarked Graves. And if you do not know what these cards do, then check out match 1, where I cover in detail everything you need to know about this deck list. And, of course, you can find the deck list in the description below of every single of my videos. So if you're looking for those resources, go check them out. There is one thing I should mention, or a couple things really, before we jump into the match here, and this is because I forgot to mention them in the deck tech. One is that this deck, thanks to Splashing Black, cannot afford to play any copies of Castle Garenbrig. That's one of the trade-offs that we're making in order to gain access to our combo here. And the second thing that I want to address is actually related to a comment from a user on the channel. And this comment was by the user Bailey Case, one of my IRL friends and a fellow YouTuber, of course. So if you are not familiar with his channel, then go check it out. But he pointed out, why not play one-ofs like Ashen Rider and stuff like that? And in fact, if you look at Mistakenn's original deck list, you will see that there are some other one-ofs like Sarah's Emissary, or Archetype of Endurance, or Hornet Queen, things along those lines in the sideboard. Of course, the idea being that you can cast Unmarked Grave to search for one of those non-legendary cards, and then bring it back with Persist, and have a unique, powerful sort of Reanimator strategy here. And I intended to talk about this in the first installment of this series, I suppose you could say, and I totally forgot to mention it, which is, we're not playing any of those one-off big creatures, and the reason is that Unmarked Grave is easily the weakest card in the deck. We are only playing 3 copies, first of all, down from the 4 copies that Mistakenn's list played, and even Mistakenn has said that he feels that Unmarked Grave is not super powerful in this particular build of the deck. And of course, that's where I'm going with this, which is, the reason why the Persist combo is so powerful is because, in combination with things like Lot Left Troll or your opponent's discard spells, it gives you an alternative route to get to Titan that basically gives you effectively additional copies of Titans as additional threats. That's what Persist does. And if you have an Unmarked Grave without a copy of Persist, which there are only 4 of in the deck, then the Unmarked Grave doesn't really do anything. And, in fact, playing random one-ofs like Ashen Rider, or like Sarah's Emissary, or even Archon of Cruelty, especially one-ofs that you can't Summoner's Pact for, that's just going to lead to some really feel-bad moments, like Unmarked Graving one of them into the graveyard and never finding a Persist. It will cause you to have draws like a Sarah's Emissary when we can't realistically cast it, but we don't have any of the combo pieces and it's just a dead card in hand. Honestly, I think that the best thing that this deck wants to be doing is just putting a Primeval Titan into play. Despite the fact that it looks like a Reanimator deck, in fact, this is really a Primeval Titan deck. And so, I am not at all unhappy with just having Primeval Titan to find and put into play, as that's the goal of the whole deck. If you playtest a list similar to this, and find things like Sarah's Emissary or whatever, they give you enough utility as a one-of to be worth the inclusion, then I'm glad to hear your opinion, and maybe even I'll showcase it in a deck list in the future, but I felt like I didn't want to go in that direction for this particular deck list. So anyways, I did want to touch on that, and yeah, hopefully I haven't lost your attention already. I will see you guys in the games. Alrighty, let's hop in here for match 2. We're just gonna grind the heck out of our opponent, or we're going to get paired against a really fast deck and just try to resolve Titan as fast as possible. One of the two is most likely on the draw against Lord Red Raven. Interesting username. We got a turn 1 Saga into Amulet. Don't have a bounce land to go along. We do have a Crumbling Vestige, which kind of functions, but we've got double Saga as well. This is at least a turn 4 Titan, probably, with triple Amulet in play, which would be fantastic. If we find a bounce land and or a 3-drop, that we can play on turn 2, potentially, then this hand even becomes much better. So I'm definitely keeping this. Our opponent mulligans down to 5 cards. Not great news for them. I mean, it depends. It could be part of their strategy. They could be playing Tron or something. Mountain Swiftspear. Yeah, that's not really a deck that wants to mulligan a whole lot. It could be Burn, and maybe they were looking for a particular type of hand. But anyways, we are going to lead on turn 1 Saga Amulet, of course, and we have the bounce land now, so if we top deck a 3-drop, then we can easily just slam that on turn 2 and have the turn 3 Titan with double Amulet here and just, you know, ultimately school our opponent. Sunbaked Canyon. So it looks like it could be Boros Burn. Boros Charm. Well, I do dare say that this is probably Boros Burn. Probably a good matchup for us. We need this 3-drop, though. Titan. Interesting. Alright, we'll let this go. Let's see, we could pack for Azusa, play Simic, pick up the Saga. That just sounds horrible. I mean, doesn't it? Let's see, if we play Wooded Foothills and next turn we get a second amulet in play, we would have to be able to pack for Azusa and have it survive. I mean, I don't think we have another choice, though. We could just play the Overgrown Tomb here as well. I don't really hate that. I'll just play the Overgrown Tomb here. No reason to get another Saga into play, because we're clearly not going to be activating it this upcoming turn. We're just going to be doing the Titan thing. And yeah, we'll just pass. This way, this upcoming turn, we actually don't have to pack for Zeus at all, because we can float with these two, get a second amulet, play Bounce Lane, and have Titan. So we're not really relying on anything other than Saga, I suppose, to be able to get our Titan into play here. Not being dead is nice. Our opponent could have double Bolt, but even in that case, we have the pack for the second Titan, so I think we're pretty much all rolled up and good to go here. We get second amulet. Boom. Our Titan, first Titan, can actually set up the second Titan by getting lands that cast it, and we pack for second Titan, and then we can haste both, and that plays around double Bolt even, so. We don't have a main board Radiant Fountain. I don't know if we even have a sideboard Radiant Fountain here, now that I'm thinking about it, but whatever. Lethal. If our opponent doesn't have double Bolt, then they're just dead. And if they do have double Bolt, well, we just gain 6 life and still have a Titan in play. So, yeah, this one will get, I guess, a Rot Farm and, I don't know, Valcut. The land that we're going to get is, we're just about to pick it up anyways, so it doesn't really matter. I guess we'll just get Valcut, though. Might as well. I don't see a reason not to. And then the second Titan will get Boros Garrison and Slayer Stronghold and haste both of our Titans. Second Titan into play. Just a classic turn 1 Saga doing exactly what it's supposed to do. We did get lucky to top deck the Bounce Land. That was a very unlikely scenario, but it did occur for us, which I'm thankful for. When I say very unlikely, it's only between 40 and 50% of games. So, it's not super unlikely, but it's definitely not in the majority of games that we just spike a Simic Growth Chamber off the top like that. And our opponent concedes. Well, I mean, I always love to win game 1 against Burn because it can be quite impactful. In this matchup, we're going to want explosives, just for those seldom couple opponents who will have the turn 1 1-drop creature, turn 2 2 more 1-drop creature starts that can sometimes be problematic. If you have just a couple of explosives to deal with that scenario, should it come up, then the bringing in the explosives as tech will end up being in your favor for sure. We could bring in Bone Shards, potentially. I don't think... Oh, we do have a Radiant Fountain in the sideboard, so we definitely want that. We could bring in Bone Shards, as it's possible that killing their 1-mana creature and discarding a card is worth it, especially if their 1-mana creature is the Goblin Guide and it gives us an extra land anyways. But it's also important to keep in mind that Bone Shards is a sorcery and not an instant, so we'd have to at least take 2 or 1 points of damage from their creatures before Bone Sharding it, and discarding a card, not really where I want to be. I don't even bring in Dismember in this matchup, because it's not worth taking all the damage, but... Yep, and then... In this matchup, I think it's okay to shave on Unmarked Grave, because, again, it doesn't do anything without Persist. Having a couple so we can go turn 3 Unmarked Grave into Persist and immediately Titan is actually somewhat reasonable, so I think it's fine. And it's possible we don't want Necrogen Spellbomb here, I'm not sure. It's also very likely our opponent's bringing in things like Wear and Tear, or even worse, Destructive Revelry to deal with Saga, so I don't mind trimming on Saga here. And I don't think we really want Necrogen here, we'll just use Lot Left Troll for that. And, actually, I guess we really don't want the Bog at all in the deck, do we? Do we keep the Saga and just completely ignore our opponent's Wear and Tears, or bring in something else? I guess we could have the Unmarked Grave. It might be wrong. Nah, I think I'm pretty okay with this. I should also mention, I really don't know how to sideboard with this deck list. I've only played like 1 or 2 leagues with this deck in general, and sideboarding with the combo is kind of weird because I don't really know when the Unmarked Grave combo is good versus when it's bad, so I'm kind of just doing it all on the fly here. Lot Left Troll in the opener. Interesting. this hand doesn't do anything other than play a turn 3 Dryad. I suppose it's possible we top deck like an Amulet exactly off the top, but I mean, that's really, really unlikely, so I'm just going to ship this one back and hope that we have a turn 1 Grazer kind of start. Or even a turn 1 Saga, admittedly. Like, it does play into our opponent having wear and tear and such, but just having the possibility of having an actually good draw rather than keeping this and doing nothing until turn 3. Well, this hand has has things. Our opponent's going to lead off on a land, so our Vesuva will actually be able to tap for mana here. If we find a Rot Farm, we can just Grave and Persist. I mean, it's a little loose, but I'm going to keep it, and I am going to pitch one of these Persists here. We just need to top deck a Rot Farm exactly, and we'll be set. But if we just top deck a regular land and a bounce land, we'll be getting kind of close to getting Titan into play. See if our opponent cracks a fetch land here or just plays out a fetch. I suppose if they just led on a Mesa and just, like, passed and didn't do anything on turn 1, okay, we will be able to copy. Find us a land, Goblin Guide. Find us a land. Come on. I'll take it. I'll take it. Okay, we got a couple lands going. That's nice. That's nice. We'll play out the Valakut here. And hopefully we'll top deck a green source, I suppose. Okay, so they have a triple 1-drop start, but it's not all creatures, so it could be worse. Grazer could still help us hold down this fort here. Unmarked Grave on the top is not fantastic. I guess we wish this was a Saga, huh? We'll play the Amulet. We'll play Vesuva and copy the Sacred Foundry, I guess? If we find a Rot Farm, we can Grave and Persist all in the same turn by using Grazer and leaving a black floating. Definitely would be worth doing that. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and play out the Vesuva here. We'll pass. So, Rot Farm off the top. I mean, I can't talk today. Rot Farm off the top still lets us Grave and Persist all in the same turn. We're close to dead here. See, 3 down to 5. Yeah, we're actually dead here. Cool, cool. Would we have found the Rot Farm, though? That's the question. Oh my gosh, we would have had the Rot Farm. Just a turn too late on that one, huh? Well, that was close. Alright. Well, we'll be on the play this time, so we'll have a much better shot. Maybe we won't mulligan as aggressively. I don't know, the Unmarked Grave didn't look super impressive there, but at the same time, the one that we had in our hand was already leading to a potential Persist combo, so I don't know, maybe messing around with this and having this to clog up our hand is not really where we want to be, but if we're siding out the Graves, we can't really keep Persist either, so I don't think we just have that many cards that we want to bring in. So I think I'd rather have access to the combo here. We didn't see any wear and tears or anything, even though we played an Amulet. Doesn't mean they don't have them, but I don't know, maybe Saga's fine. And I think we trim... Actually, you know what? Saga's not fine. Get out of here, Saga. We don't want you. I guess Saga's a little better on the play, maybe, but... Because then they have to take a turn off to get rid of our Saga, which admittedly is still probably worth it, but... Alright, we'll play first, of course. Can't keep this one. No real lands. Of course, if we played the Rot Farm, we'd have to immediately bounce it back to our hand. And this hand is missing every little bit of action, but we have the natural Radiant Fountain, and we get to play Amulet on 1. And we get to bounce the Radiant Fountain back. We can play a turn 2 Rot Farm, pick up the Fountain, and then just play Fountain on turn 3. So, I mean, it's not the best hand in the world, but we'll keep it. We'll put this Boros Garrison on the bottom because we absolutely don't want to have that one in hand if our Titan is trying to search for something to allow us to haste or double strike. So, keep that one in deck. Thank you very much. Alright, let's see a 3-drop off the top. Dryad on top. Alright, Goblin Guide, do not hit a... Actually, hit a land, and then we'll draw the Dryad afterwards. Alright, Dryad right now. Grazer, I'll take it, I'll take it. I think we are picking up the Radiant Fountain here intentionally anyways. Probably should have done it with a Rot Farm, but I don't think it's really going to make a difference, as we're going to need 2 draws here to be able to do the Persist combo thing anyways, so we'll just Grazer in the Radiant Fountain and just gain all the life. Sorry, Goblin Guide, you cannot do your job. We will not allow it. And we'll pass to our opponent. Who needs the 2 mana that's floating? I definitely don't. Alright, let's just keep top decking relevant spells. That would be very nice. Smash to Smithereens Amulet. Okay. That's a relevant spell. I kind of want to just play it on 2 for Eidolon at this point. That could be wrong, though. We could also just hold on to it. I'm going to Rot Farm and pick up the Radiant Fountain and just pass. If they play an Eidolon, we'll just bite the bullet and take the 2 damage. If they play a 1-drop and bolt our Grazer and then get in with both of these, then we can sweep up the board with explosives while they're not expecting it, so. Roiling Vortex. Interesting. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Vortex does 1 damage to them. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, then Vortex does 5 damage to that player, and red, your opponents can't gain life. This turn. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, we probably will need to explosives that one away, unfortunately. So let's do that. And if our opponent... I guess we can let them take the 1. Like, if we pop it right now and they pay the red, it means they're not instepping a bolt or something, but we also can't play the Radiant. I don't know if that really matters. I don't think the 1 point of damage to them really matters either, though, so... I guess if we do this, we can't play the Grazer unless we play an untapped Overgrown Tomb, so it would cost us extra life. Interesting. Well, I think it's better that we gain 2 from the Radiant Fountain and just take 1 on our next upkeep from the Vortex. I guess we could also just not play Grazer this turn. That doesn't seem super crazy. Just hold on to the Grazer. I'm pretty okay with that. We'll do this during their turn. This also stops them from playing an Eidolon, I suppose. Haha, take 1. Take it. How do you like it? Bloodstained Mire. Swift Spear, okay. Well, would have liked to have Grazer in play, but that's the price we gotta pay. Lava Spike. Okay. Admittedly, we're still not in bad shape, and we might even get an extra land off the top of the Goblin Guide here. Another Grazer on top, huh? Well, I'm just gonna block the Goblin Guide. If they want to bolt us for an extra point of damage, I'm fine with that. They don't even bother. Alright. Goodbye, Roiling Vortex. Admittedly, there's no super real reason to get rid of it, but... Alright, we'll gain some life with the Radiant Fountain, of course. Just natural Radiant Fountain going the distance. They have Skullcrack, perhaps? Well, we'll just put a couple more Grazers into play, and it's whatever. Down to 10. I don't mind it at all. Alright, let's play a Grazer. Put the Valcut into play, I suppose. We already have double black. And we'll play another Grazer, just in case they have a bolt to try to get through. We put this land into play. If we top deck a Dryad, then having the extra Valcut trigger could be good, so I'm just not going to. And we'll pass. The ground is being held. We just need to top deck a Titan at this point, or a Summoner's Pact. They pass. Stronghold. We can start getting in with the Grazers. How about it? Don't mind if I do. Boom. Take 2. Maybe they double block. Not even, huh? Alright, well, go ahead. Lava Spike. Okay. And pass. Okay. Titan. Unmarked Grave. Remember when I was talking about this one being a dead card on occasion? Well, there's no reason to cast it yet. We don't have the other cards, so... Oh, I forgot to attack, but whatever. I guess this punishes them for having a 3rd creature and a spell and attacking with everything. We can Slayer Stronghold and actually get one of their creatures out of play, so it's probably worth it. They don't attack. Cool. Titan. Saga. Okay, well... I mean, we'll take it, I guess. And again, for the same reason as I was just describing before, I think we're choosing not to attack here with the Grazer, as the getting the attacker out of play if they decide to attack with everything is probably more relevant. I would say. There's a lava spike. Hopefully they don't just have Boros Charm or another 2 1-mana spells and we're just dead. Alright, go to combat, attack. We will block everything. Nope, okay. Titan. One time, come on. Lot left troll. Okay. We could very well be very close to dead here. Alright, I mean, we'll play troll. And I guess we're passing? Is there a point in casting Grave? I don't think so. We'll make a token on instep. They have 3 cards in hand and they're doing nothing. I wonder if they're holding like some Path to Exiles or something. Actually, I have no clue what they could be holding. Very strange. We'll make a token. Okay. Ugh, still nothing. I mean... yeah, we'll make a token. This is very strange. And we'll search. Smash to smithereens a token. Oh. So that's what they're holding. I guess we could have played around that by not making constructs, but, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're just dead. What is this? Yeah. We're just dead. Well, that does happen, I suppose. Needed to draw Titan, never found it. Oh well. What would we have been drawing? Crumbling Vestige. Oh, that's alright. A little disappointing to lose that match in that particular manner, but can't really complain. I mean, it's exactly like I said about the Unmarked Grave, and why it's the worst card in the deck is because we essentially just didn't even draw a card when we drew the Grave. If we'd found a Persist, sure, it would have been fantastic to have drawn the Grave, but up until that point, the Grave doesn't do anything by itself. We just hit Grave and Lot Left Troll and lands, and like, these cards don't do anything by themselves. And that's part of the cost of having this combo in your deck in the first place. So we are seeing that in action here. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Let me know if you would sideboard differently in the Burn matchup. I'm very curious to hear your opinions and what you would do differently. Maybe we could have gotten there if we had chosen not to make tokens from the Saga. Like, I don't know if it would have been reasonable to expect that what they were holding on to is Smash to Smithereens. I guess maybe that's a logical conclusion. Could also have been something like Deflecting Palm, I suppose, or Path to Exile. I was thinking that there's no way we win this game if we don't get a clock. That's why I made the tokens in the first place. But yeah, anyways, like I said, I don't have much else to say. Hopefully you still enjoyed this match, because I still did. And we're definitely learning about the deck, seeing the cards in action, and also seeing the cards not really in action at all. And yeah, I will see you guys for the next match. This is Red Face Menace, signing off.